Let's go to the US because, of course, tomorrow will be the first face-off between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, the first debate and probably the last debate since she became the Democratic nominee, replacing Joe Biden. You can watch all the action here on Sky News tomorrow from 11 a.m. But what has Kamala Harris been doing to prepare for this debate? We know, of course, that she's been very reticent to do any interviews. She's only done one interview so far, and she had her emotional support candidate, vice presidential candidate Tim Walz there holding her hand the whole time. It only went for 26 minutes in pretty friendly territory with CNN. We know that she does not want to front up. So she's got to work overtime to get herself ready to compete against Donald Trump. Well, what's she been doing? She's had a bloke come in to pretend to be Donald Trump. She's in a hotel room with the stage lights like we have here in the studio, pretending she's talking to the man himself. Take a listen.
Vice President Kamala Harris, she is in her hotel in Pittsburgh. They've got the lights as if it's in a studio. They've got the stage. They've even brought in somebody who's dressed and acting like the former president. And then we know that the former president himself is just having sort of informal policy discussions from what we understand in preparation for Tuesday.
I mean, how good is that? And I think it goes to the point that politicians in America do not front up to the media, and they don't front up to the public anywhere near as much as politicians do in this country. Of course, you know, the Prime Minister is constantly interviewed on television in Australia. They constantly have debates in the lead up to elections. They're not so afraid to front the media because they know how to deal with the media, whereas in the US, they shield them away. They don't have anything to do with it. And so when they're faced with something like this, they don't know what to do, which is why Trump has a bit of an advantage in these circumstances, because Trump is a media man. He's been an entertainer his whole life, so he sort of knows how to conduct himself in these circumstances. The bloke who's been pretending to be Donald Trump, this isn't his first outing. He did this with Hillary Clinton back in 2016. Philippe Reines is his name. He dresses up, as we heard before, like Donald Trump. Now, we should specify he doesn't put a wig on to look exactly like him.
He looks nothing like him.
Well, he did once. He said that in 2016 he had a go at tanning his face a bit to see if it could make him look a bit more like Donald Trump, but no one particularly noticed, so he gave up on that idea. But here's a little clip of him preparing with Hillary Clinton in 2016, trying out maybe a little bit of violence post-debate. At least he didn't grab her by the you-know-where, and I assume we won't see any of that sort of conduct from Donald Trump tomorrow. Trump himself, though, asked what he was doing to prepare for the debate. Well, take a listen.
President Trump, how are you specifically preparing for the debate versus Harris?
I'm not. Really? I'm not spending a lot of time on it. I think my whole life I've been preparing for a debate. You know, you can go in and you can have all sorts of sessions. I watched Mitt Romney go in and he worked so hard. 4 weeks he locked himself into a log cabin, and then he developed lockjaw. He couldn't speak. I watched other people. I mean, you have to be real. You know, you can't cram knowledge into your head for, 30 years of knowledge in 1 week.
I mean, the whole idea, and I know this is, quite possibly the event that could decide the way a lot of people vote in this election, but the idea that you would be holed up as Harris in a hotel room with, bright lights on you like you're in the TV studio, you've got a guy there who's pretending to be Donald Trump. If she shows up tomorrow and fudges it, well, she's had every opportunity not to.
Well, there's a couple of unique things with this. I mean, firstly, the debate tomorrow is the first time, apparently, that Kamala Harris will have met Donald Trump. So maybe the fact she's got an impersonator there is an allusion to the fact that she's a little bit intimidated and not sure what to expect, because Donald Trump has specified there are to be no platforms used because Kamala Harris is only 5'4". Trump will tower over her, and there was the suggestion that maybe she'll find a little something to stand on to make herself look a little bit more, presidential compared to him.
It's called high heels. On top of that,
it's a 90-minute debate and no notes are allowed. As you said, she's only done one interview since accepting the candidacy, and it was with her vice president nominee, who she held hands with the entire time. So I can well imagine she is preparing non-stop. But I just love Trump, and he proved why he'll be brilliant with that just a random question.
Yeah.
And what are you doing to prepare? And immediately, I'm not. And he makes the point brilliantly.
Yeah.
He is going to wipe the floor with Kamala Harris.
In a word.